you need a good motivation, and this good motivation needs to hold even when things are getting hard. Hello guys, today we are talking about weight loss because I feel it's important to just name it as it is, and potentially some of you will profit in any way from my experiences. If you are triggered by weight loss or eating in any way, please do not watch this video. I have a lot of fun stuff on my channel as well. Some nice little travel vlogs that are light entertainment. But today we are going in. I also have to say I'm not an expert. I'm not a health guru. I have a problem with most of those so-called health gurus because they always come from a place where they make you feel that they are superior and you are just a little worm who needs to understand how things are working. I feel, and this is my experience, that losing weight and, coming into a place where you are even able to lose weight is something highly individual. And I can also tell you that I have a couple of good reasons we are going into that motivate me to lose weight. But the one reason that isn't that is how I look and how I perceive myself. And I think I'm cute. I think I look great. I think I was never like more content with my exterior and my body than I am right now. I had phases in my life where I was really slim and I thought I was fat. I had a eating disorder. I thought I was never happy within myself. So I think that losing weight is not the key to happiness. I think losing weight is not the key to solving all your problems in your life. If you are unhappy with yourself and with your body, you need to work on that. But losing weight potentially makes you just a slimmer, unhappy person. And this is something that we always have to keep in mind, right? We need a good motivation, but this motivation should not be that I contextualized, if I'm slimmer, I will have the life of my dreams, because chances are very high this is not the case. Also, I want to say up front that we all have different sizes and this channel is a safe space. So if you love yourself in the size that you are, might be slim or not so slim or whatever, right? Life is colorful, and I also feel there is a right time for everything. So yeah, if you're happy, I'm happy. I'm just sharing a little bit my journey, and hopefully also there is someone else on a healthy weight journey, and that is that one. And he's not happy with me. Not happy at all. But my love language is also that I'm looking after my 4 kids. So let's go into that. As I said before, I'm not losing weight because I want to look cute. I'm turning 50 next year, right? I feel I look as cute as I can. Honestly, I do not give a shit anymore about other people's opinions. I do not give a shit about the trends that are going on and how a woman is supposed to look. I look like I do, and I'm pretty happy with that, and that in any size. When I'm looking back, when I was 25, I did not have this confidence. I was a rather slim person. I was never skinny, but I was a rather slim person. I was always really fit. I did a lot of sports, but I never was happy and content in my own body. I had a tendency to be really freaking controlling when it came to my weight. I was weighing me at times twice a day. I just showed the scales the door and they never came back in, so I don't know what number we are talking when we are talking my weight, but for my feeling it's not only way too much, but also like the most I ever had in my life. This is scary for me for a couple of reasons. As I said, my age is not a secret. I'm turning 50 next year, so I'm 49, and I entered menopause really early in life. End of 30, I started with pre-menopause, and then things evolved quite quickly. I had a lot of hormonal symptoms that you find: white heat flushes, sweating, and everything that comes with that. But also I would say, sneaking weight gain that was starting maybe 2017, so like 7 years ago, where I, like every year I put on a certain amount of weight, and I would, if I have to estimate, I would say between 7 and 10 kilograms maybe. And in the beginning it's quite easy to ignore that, and it was really easy to ignore it till 2020 maybe. And then a lot of stuff happened with our world, as we all know, and we all spent a lot of time inside. And me, who never was a gym girly, but I had my spinning classes, and I was always a running and outside girly. So hiking and running, those were my kind of cardio sports that kept me going, like doing 2Ks every week and going spinning. And that fell flat because it wasn't possible anymore. And yeah, I mean, there was a stress component, like from a mental health perspective also, you know, being stuck inside and everything that was going on, and not able to meet people or meet up with people. And that took a toll. It took a toll on my eating habits. And also eating habits, they are called habits because you're on autopilot, right? You don't think about what you are doing. You're just doing it out of a habit. And if this is changing, at first also you do not really realize that your eating changed. If I'm looking back now, I have to say it changed quite significantly. And yeah, things did not get better. I had a lot of stress in my private life. I had a very stressful job. I was working a lot. I started working from home almost exclusively. I had a couple of days per week where I did not leave the house because I was sitting 10 hours or more per day on my laptop and working and eating while I'm working, and all those things added up. And this is not in order to make excuses, right? I'm very well aware that I am responsible for the state of my body I'm in at the moment. So this is my responsibility and no one else's. But it's kind of helpful for me to make a root cause analysis. What happened, what changed, and what needs to change now in order to get things back on track. Because I'm not a kind of believer that due to menopause I gained weight. Yes, because things in my body changed, but also my habits and how I handled this body, they changed as well, and this led to a gain of weight. So we are we are we are getting there, and it was important for me to kind of setting the stage here before I'm getting into my reasons why I'm changing stuff now. Because in order to change stuff, you need a good motivation, and this good motivation needs to hold even when things are getting hard, and with every kind of change that you try to administer in your life or somewhere else, it's getting tough at times. And my first wake-up call was maybe a year ago when I got diagnosed with high blood pressure. And high blood pressure certainly also was due to the stress I was in. I was very close to burnout, and I had to maneuver my way out of that kind of mental state that also was impacting my body, and more to that also later on in this video. But obesity, and I am obese, let's name it as it is, right, is also a cause for high blood pressure. And this high blood pressure in itself is dangerous because it can shorten your life, to say it very flat out, but in the sense of you have a much higher risk for a heart attack, and you also have a much higher risk for a stroke. And I don't want that. I want to be fit and I want to be healthy. So this is my first motivation. The second one is like a more holistic kind of approach on, I want to tackle the high inflammation that I have in my body. So I have a chronic sinus infection over decades, basically. It's getting worse, it's getting better, but it's never getting away. That means even if I do not have a cold, this is all stuffed up. You see videos of myself in Orlando where I sound like I have the worst, like the worst head cold. It's not a head cold, it feels like allergies. It took me some time to realize that those are, it's not allergy, it's all inflamed, and it's just a chronic thing. Adding up to that situation, I also have always problems with my stomach and the digestive tract. Also, this is over the last decades, right? And I had to learn and to read that, you know, everything, of course, in your body is connected. And then, going along with all the menopausal changes, I also got inflammation. For example, under the soles of my feet. There is a Latin name for that I forgot, but if you know, if you're sitting and then you're standing up and you feel that your feet are just hurting and you have to take a couple of steps in order to get everything, you know, kind of smooth and flexible again. So this is a condition which, by the way, by now is completely gone. I was like, it was horrible during summer and when I was in Orlando, for example. And then also the pain in joints and muscles, which is also inflammation. And if you come and try to tackle inflammation from an eating perspective, that means you have to drastically reduce your sugar intake. Best would be to go flat on sugar altogether. And this is what I'm trying to do in the future. I know I have a sugar addiction, and I don't like any kind of addictive behavior in myself, so that needs to go. Then white wheat products like toast bread and cake and that kind of stuff also ideally needs to go. And then convenient and junk food, of course, all additives in those foods, they also can add in on your inflammation processes in your body. So this needs to go, and then alcohol and nicotine. I stopped smoking. I'm almost completely done with alcohol. I might drink a glass of wine or two when I meeting friends, but not very often. So those are the things that need to change in order to tackle inflammation, and I really want to do that because my quality of life will improve drastically when I get this inflammatory processes under control. And as a side product of those kind of eating changes, of course, I will also lose weight. So again, everything is connected. Here we go. And then of course I want to stop a dynamic, right? As I said in the beginning, over the past 7 years I was gaining weight every year. I want to reverse that kind of dynamic. I want to be my fittest, and I want to be my healthiest and also happiest when I'm turning 50 next year, and therefore that's a good motivation for me as well. I have some very ambitious goals when it comes to sports, because as I said, I always was a very sporty, running, hiking, kind of outdoorsy girl. Yeah. And at the moment I'm too heavy for running. I feel it in my ankles. I especially feel it in my knees, because all this extra weight is going in your joints, and it's not good. So I switched to walking right now, and I'm walking at least my 10k steps every day. But I have a very ambitious goal for next year. Next year in May, I will do an ultra hike of 100 kilometers in 24 hours. And of course, I will also vlog that. So if you're interested in my little personal adventures and challenges, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you find this video helpful, then give it a like. It will help me a lot. And I really want to run a marathon at one point, and I would love to do a One Disney event. This is not happening next year because we first have to get this body back in shape for running and also for a marathon. But in January 2026, like the Dopey Challenge is up in the stars, I would love to do that. And those are my little ambitious goals from a sport perspective. To at one point go back to Everest Base Camp is also still in the books, because I've been to Nepal in 2013. Those were the days. But I only did Annapurna Base Camp, and to be super honest, I never made it up to the base camp, because I had fried rice with eggs, and those were, let's put it that way, I spent 3 days in a bathroom and things were just floating out of me from the up and the down. And yeah, I had to, I had to stop myself. So yeah, Everest Base Camp, Dopey Challenge, and my 200k hike. That is already in the books, and I paid for it next year in May. This might be a silly one, but I want to see my feet when I'm looking down at myself without bending forward. I also would love to say hello to my mumu again, because again, there is a belly in the way and I do not see it. I hate that. I would love to say hello to my feet again. Chafing in summer, so like your thighs, they are so thick that they are wrapped together and also almost melt together. Everything gets angry and flamed and very painful, to be honest. I hate that. I mean, I always had very strong and thick thighs. I never had a huge gap like a supermodel. I don't need that. I don't want that. But I don't want to have like direct contact when I'm wearing a dress. That would be That would be really great. I would really appreciate that. The other thing actually is underboob sweat. I don't like underboob sweat. When I'm in my normal state of size, I do not have super big boobs. Even if gravity is taking its toll in my age, I would like to, you know, don't have that. That is ja, so, ne? Genau. Another health thing is I don't want to get diabetes. I mean, as said, I have a sugar addiction, and I know that I was at least very close to insulin resistance, which is basically the pre-stage of diabetes. And your blood sugar cannot be regulated properly anymore by your body. Diabetes is a very scary thing for me as well, because you can get blind, you can all kind of stuff that is happening with that. And I just want to be mindful of the stuff that I put into this body and keep it going, right? I mean, don't want to take it for granted. It's great. It took me through life for a very long time, and I just want to be more mindful of what is happening. The next one is again a little bit silly. I want to be able to sit on a toilet and clean my butt properly. I mean, we have to just name it as it is. If there is too much mass around the middle of your body to reach back and clean stuff, it's difficult. Apart from that, when I try to reach my toes, when I'm stretching out my body, this is in the way, and I don't like this feeling. In general, like how I feel in my body when I'm moving this body, for me this is like worlds in difference when I was slimmer to now. And I want to get this kind of feeling I had when I was in another shape. And there is no judgment, but I'm very stubborn, and yeah, I connect a lot of things over how do they feel, and like this overall feeling. And this has nothing to do with I'm not happy or so, but like a very physical kind of feeling. How does it feel when I'm moving muscles and doing stuff? This is different, and I want to come back to the old feeling when I was in another shape. I guess this is what I'm saying, and I'm sorry, I'm struggling a little bit to find the right words for that, because I do not have dysmorphia and I'm not feeling right in my body. This is something completely else. I'm struggling because English is not my first language, but I would also struggle to tell you the same stuff in German, I guess, because we are talking something that is like really ingrained in the physicality of how does a muscle feel when I'm moving that kind of muscle. And yeah, I'm just putting it out there. So yeah, and I mean, I said it before, I'm quite stubborn, and what I want to prove is that it's never too late to change tracks. It's never too late to take responsibility for your own actions. And I cannot blame menopause or age or the weather or the pandemic for the shape I am in now, I'm responsible for it, so I'm responsible for changing it, and I want to set an example. In general, I want to set an example that is very much along the lines you can still do anything you want when you are turning 50, because this is just a fucking number and all the limitations are starting here, but also all the possibility for change is starting here. And this is the message I want to bring out to you, and please let me know what your experiences are, how you see it, and I would love to discuss this with this community. I would love to have a close group of other people that also say, hey, I'm a bumblebee, and people might say I'm not able to fly, but here I am, and I'm spreading my wings and I'm flying, and I'm doing stuff that even I thought were not possible before. And yeah, I'm so glad you are here for the journey, and peace out.